Welcome everybody to the Hilltop. You know, I was told we had a rowdy crowd tonight, but you guys just proved it to me. Can you give me a yeah? Can I get a oh yeah? Oh, we have quite a show for you tonight. We are so excited. But I'd like to invite up the hostess with the mostest, I like to say. It's not so late, so please put your hands together for SLS trustee, Mr. Christopher Rosso.
All right, welcome St. Luke's. Wow, keep that energy going for just a minute longer. Let's give another round of applause for Peter Valera and the Not So Late Night Band. You guys are awesome. It is such a privilege to be up here again with you. Second year in a row. Peter, season 2. We got renewed.
I know, I couldn't believe it.
I know, right? And so when the word got out that we're going to do season 2, your phone's been ringing off the hook. The talent scouts, the agents.
Yours too, right?
No, I haven't gotten a single call. Have you?
Just a few.
All right, well, for now then, we know where the real talent is. I'm just the nobody, so let me introduce myself. My name is Christopher Rosso. I am a St. Luke's trustee. I am a former board chair, and with my wife, Megan, who is someplace in the crowd tonight, I can't see a thing, we are the proud parents of 2 St. Luke's graduates and 1 St. Luke's senior, Maggie, class of 2026, over there in the base. Let's give it up for the class of 26. I think we've got some 26 parents in the house. Let's give it up for our seniors. We're going to get to meet some seniors and many others later on tonight, but first I want to welcome some other folks. I know Maggie started in 5th grade, and I know from the guest list, because I saw it, that we have some new families in the house, not just from 5th grade, but almost through every grade. Plus, we have some new faculty and staff here as well tonight. So if you've been here before, you know what to do. If you are new, give us a little wave, whatever you want to do, so we know who you are, so we can give you a proper welcome to the Hilltop. We got some out there. Some energy, some energy. Thank you for joining us tonight. You are here, Megan and I are here, we're all here really because of what Mary Carter likes to talk about as the promise that St. Luke's makes to our students and to our families, a promise to deliver an exceptional education, foster a deep love of learning, a strong moral compass, the commitment to serve, the confidence to lead. That is our mission. And our goal tonight is to show you that mission in action, show you that mission happening. But as you all know, when you do something like that, you don't do it alone. You need friendship, you need support of your peers, your colleagues, your parents. You need a buddy. So I'd like to start the evening off with a short video about buddies. Let's roll it. Creating connections, yeah, give it up for that. Creating connections one buddy at a time. I got an idea, totally spontaneous idea, as I'm sure you must imagine. You want to meet some buddies? Let's meet some storm buddies. Let me welcome, please help me welcome our first guests of the evening, Zuriel Amadumbi, Emily Matthias, and Melissa Zurkowski. right, you guys look good. All right, Melissa, you're in the hot seat. We're going to start you off. A little softball question, don't get nervous. Well, what exactly is the Storm Buddies program?
So the Storms Buddies program is a program that we've put together where we pair our 5th and 6th graders with a senior buddy. And it gives our younger students an opportunity to have some older role models to look up to, students who have been in their shoes before, gives them a glimpse of what lies ahead. It's a fun and reassuring way for the students to have another person in the building that they can look up to and learn from. For our seniors, it's a way for them to give back and to kind of see how much they've grown.
So this is relatively new, right?
So Katie Borse, head of middle school, started the program 3 years ago, and Susan Garnett and I have helped in the early days to kind of keep it going, and our 12th grade deans have joined the program, and so now we've got a great connection between divisions, helping the program thrive.
And so what kind of activities do you do to sort of bring the buddies together?
So we do several activities. As you saw in the video, in the beginning of the school year, the 5th and 6th graders meet with their senior buddies out on the Be Kind Plaza. They get to know each other. We give them some getting to know you questions so they get to learn about each other. Last week we did trick-or-treating. In the winter, we will do some cookie decorating and some homeroom fun, just light ways to continue building these meaningful relationships and connections. And then in the spring, the tables turn, and our 5th and 6th graders are special guests for the seniors' commencement rehearsal.
And as luck would have it, we have a great video clip from a previous year's rehearsal. Let's take a look. Full circle, right? It's so cool to see the youngest students showing up for the seniors who then showed them the ropes, and we are so happy and lucky to have two buddies here ready to share their personal experiences with us. Zuriel, you are in 5th grade, right?
Yes, I am.
And who do we have up on the screen right now?
That's me and my senior buddy, Kalon.
So were you nervous to meet Kalon for the very first time, also because he's so much older than you?
No, I wasn't nervous because I'm used to hang out with older people, like my brother Zach, who's a freshman at SLS.
And you started off with something in common. Here we see you guys at the kickoff event. What did you learn about Kalon that day?
Well, I learned that he's on my brother's football team, and I learned that he might go to college and play football, and he also plays basketball like I do.
And so he learned that about you. What else did he learn about you?
He learned that I play many instruments like piano, saxophone, and guitar.
Piano, saxophone, and guitar. Are you listening, paying attention? Notes there, Peter? Get the claws out. 3 instruments, amazing. So you and Kalon got together very recently. Here we see you trick-or-treating. No comment? So Zuriel, what you've seen so far, do you think having a senior storm buddy is a good thing for a 5th grader?
Yeah, I think it's great because you can get good advice for the future and you can meet with someone who's been through many experiences. Also, I like meeting people who are similar than me.
Yeah, and we all got to meet each other backstage with rehearsals and so forth, and I love meeting new people like you guys. And let's go over to Emily. So this is your 2nd year as a storm buddy, right, Emily?
Yeah, it is.
And so on screen right now, we have you with your senior storm buddy, Maddie Brown. So as a veteran, what are your thoughts about this program?
I really like interacting with someone who is older than me and getting to understand their experience at SLS. And I think it let me understand that we're different but also the same.
Different but the same. That's really interesting. What do you mean by that?
For example, we have different classes, but we're all still learning.
So it's like you step into their shoes and you put themselves in their shoes as well. That's really great. So last year, though, you had 2 storm buddies. Here you are with them. Do you remember any advice that they gave you?
They told me to do a fall sport, so I might win a trip to Disney, just maybe. But they also told me to build study habits and make mistakes in middle school so you know what you're good at when you get to upper school and you know what you need to work on and you can just like have a foundation.
That's exactly right, and I love the priority, Disney, then study habits. Smart, excellent advice on all counts. But did you offer them any advice in return?
Yeah, I told them to try running because I'm a runner and it's totally the best. And I told them when it comes to the college essays, take it easy. It's serious, but you're gonna get through.
Because senior parents, you're paying attention, right? You're getting advice from a sixth grader. Emily, how are you so wise?
I have a bunch of older cousins, and I have a grandma who happens to be a college counselor, so at Thanksgiving, it's
So
college essays are on the clock.
well ahead of the curve. We have a college around the clock. That sounds familiar in my house. We have a special picture of you and your buddies from last year. So what made you go to graduation with this handmade poster?
I think, well, I go to sleepaway camp for 3.5 weeks, which is really tough, and I can't imagine going to a school with no one, with everyone new, and staying away from home for a whole year. And I think that it's going to be an adventure, but sometimes you need to go in the right mindset, and you need to get pumped. So I feel like that's a good way.
I mean, that's amazing, right? You are so kind. You are both lucky to have senior buddies, but I'd say the senior buddies are also very lucky to have you guys. Thank you for helping us understand why everybody needs a good buddy or two. Thank you so much. All right, so buddies are important in and outside of school, so let's see what happens when that spirit brings service to our hilltop. Please welcome 4 remarkable seniors from the class of 2026 who are leading with humanity. Julia Caniglio, Gemma Goodman, Iris Weiser, and Makeda West. All right, so let me set the table. So these 4 are current student directors of a summer camp for Ukrainian refugees. This camp was actually founded by St. Luke's alums Izzy Levi and Charlie Lukens and is advised by upper school history teacher Lauren Molesky. So, Julia, you're holding the mic, so you get to go first. Tell us about this summer camp. What is your mission?
Our mission is to create a welcoming, supportive environment in which Ukrainian refugee children feel safe, valued, and cared for, while also giving St. Luke students the chance to connect across cultures and make a real difference through service. One of the really important things that we do is create a space for these kids to have fun and really be kids outside of the stress that they may be experiencing at home due to the war in Ukraine and the changing refugee laws here.
Wow, that's amazing. And so how has this camp grown since it was launched?
So it's grown in really 2 main ways. The first year we had the first 2 years the camp only ran for 1 week, and this past year it ran for 2 weeks, which was really exciting in and of itself. In the first year the camp ran, we had about 16 campers, and this past year we had 48.
Wow. So double the time, more than double the campers. That's amazing growth. Let's turn it over to Iris. So according to Ms. Molesky, the 4 of you truly run this program. So can you tell us how you approach all this work?
Yeah, so we created this chart to kind of help us plan and figure things out. You can see at the top is Ms. Molesky, and Ms. Molesky is really in charge of overseeing important necessities for the camp, like managing funding, grants, and also relationships with different stakeholders. Then you can see towards the middle of the chart are our student directors, which is us. And the student directors are really in charge of the operations within the camp, including budgeting and scheduling. And then below the directors are the 6 different cohorts. The cohorts are separated by age group. And there is about 1 or 2 team leaders in each cohort, and then about 3 counselors in each cohort.
So that's quite an org chart, and as I'm looking at it, I'm looking at like a staff of like 25, 30 people. Are they all St. Luke's students?
So far, yes. If you are a freshman, sophomore, or junior, you can apply to be a part of the camp, and it is a pretty selective process. But if you are accepted, you will enter as either a counselor or as a team leader. Then after kind of having that valuable experience, you can come back like 1 or 2 years later and apply to be a director. And what's really cool about the whole director process is that the outgoing directors spend the winter mentoring the new ones so that institutional memory is kind of preserved and so that the new directors know what to expect going into the camp. And then also starting this year, some of our Ukrainian campers who are 16 or older will be able to join us as counselors for the camp, which is really cool because we'll get to work alongside them and kind of learn from each other. And we hope it's also a good experience for some of our new campers to see someone who's been through similar challenges as them in a leadership position.
That's amazing, and so it's competitive though, like lots of students apply. How many students apply for this every year?
So the first year we had about 25 applications. And then last year we had about 35. This year we're anticipating about 40.
It's like getting into college. That's amazing. So we'll get Emily back out here. Let's turn it over to Makeda. Makeda, tell us about your area of focus.
Yeah, of course. So our camp kind of runs like a business in a way, and with that, I help manage the financial aspect of the camp. And this incorporates our partnership with CIRI, the Connecticut Institute for Refugees and Immigrants, as you see over here. And with CIRI, we are directly coordinating with a representative. Her name is Olga, and she lets us know how much funding we will have for the camp. All the funding goes towards food for the campers every single day, towards materials for the activities, as well as transportation for buses to and from the camp every single day. It's also really important to understand that our camp runs solely on federal grants. This allows the camp to be sustainable. However, in the future, we might have to change how this works because of federal cuts. I also work with the team leaders and activity leaders, which Iris is in charge of. They tell me what materials I need for the camp. And once I know what materials I need, I go to an Amazon registry account, purchase all the supplies that I need, and then I work with the reimbursements and W-9 forms. I also work with Mr. Martin with health forms and waivers just to make sure the campers are safe and everything runs smoothly.
I'm exhausted. This is like running a small business. You got W-9s and waivers, health forms, all this stuff, all this org chart. It's amazing to run it smoothly, no small tasks, so well done. So Gemma, let's turn it over to you. You have an essential and yet tricky job of finding spaces inside and outside to run this camp on our campus.
Yeah, so St. Luke's over the summer, as some of you probably know, is super, super busy. There are kids everywhere. So because of that, it can be pretty difficult to pin down space to have our camp. But I operate with an incredible support system behind me. I work with Mr. Martin and Mr. Clark, who runs the sports camps, and they've been amazing, and our camp could not run without them. Every time we run into a problem, they're there, they know what to do. And no matter how many logistical hiccups I run into, and no matter how many times I'm told, oh, Model UN already has that room for this week, that doesn't take away from why we do this camp, which is the kids we meet and the relationships that we form. And one person that always comes to mind when I talk about this is a little girl named Zoriana. You can see her on screen. I met her my first year as a counselor, so last summer. She was so shy, so sweet. She didn't speak any English. She did say one thing to me by the end of the week, and that was thank you. And then she came back the next year, and she spoke perfect English. She ran up to me and gave me the biggest hug. So that reminded me of just how much we grow alongside them. So that's why we do it.
That's why you do it. That's fantastic. All right, so we got your perspective. I think we need to go down and get some other perspectives on the why. How about back to Julia?
I love talking about the why. I think it's such an important part of getting people to understand the importance of this camp. I do this because every meeting, every email, every hour we spend putting into this camp, it all becomes worth it as soon as we see the smiles on the campers' faces when they throw water balloons at each other, when they're painting my face a million different colors. And it just is so rewarding, and I'm so grateful to have had the opportunity to facilitate an environment in which they feel comfortable doing that.
Amazing. Well done for that. All right, Iris, your turn.
I completely agree with Julia, and I think she touched on something, and that's how rewarding it is to see the community kind of form together with like the counselors and the campers. It's truly great. We all learn so much from each other. We have so much fun while doing it, as you can see again with the face paint. And it's just really such an amazing experience.
All right, Makeda, you're up.
Yeah, of course. So we just want this place to be somewhere the kids can just be kids, because it's important to remember that they have faced a lot of atrocities back home, and when they come here, they just want to have fun. We're not their counselors, we're more of like their friends, and in that sense, they bring us so much more happiness as much as we bring them happiness. So that's why we do it.
That's fantastic. I cannot think of a better or more St. Lucian reason for doing anything. I promised you guys and Ms. Molesky that we'd end with special thanks to the people who make this camp possible. Up there on the slide behind me with And with special kudos to our Flick friends and Patrick Sullivan, who found a way to feed all these campers and make the camp possible. We are grateful to all of them, and we are grateful to you guys for living the St. Luke's mission by leading with humanity. Thank you very much. All right, so continuing on in that theme of service, I'd like to put the spotlight on my fellow trustees. Their pictures behind me. The St. Luke's Board of Trustees volunteers their time, their talent, their expertise to ensure that the St. Luke's mission stays strong, mission-focused, and ready to thrive into the future. Unfortunately, the tiny couch is not big enough for the whole board, so let's please welcome our board co-chairs, Scott DePetris and Rich Riley. Thank you guys both for being here tonight. You know, I can't remember the last time St. Luke's had 2 board chairs. Am I right to assume that we had to break protocol to fill my tremendous shoes?
Either that or you left double the work.
Double the work? Probably the truth, you know, facts there. We are incredibly fortunate to have you guys both helping lead St. Luke's in the future. And we can see on the slide behind me that this is just a partial list of accomplishments. You both are highly accomplished business leaders, entrepreneurs, tech innovators. You both serve on multiple boards. And between the two of you, you've pretty much served on every St. Luke's board committee and then beyond: investment, executive, equity and inclusion, human resources, student development, governance. Let's throw in the athletics task force. What I want you to tell the audience, just like we had our seniors do a moment ago, is why. Why, with huge demanding careers and obligations, you give back to St. Luke's in so many ways. So let's start with Scott and the DePetris family on the screen behind me. Beautiful family. Many of you might recognize Kate from her many years of service for the St. Luke's Fund. Scott, why does the DePetris family give so much?
Thanks, Chris. I tell the story to a lot of prospective families, but when Kate and I were looking for a school for our son, Will, we met a woman who works at a salon here in New Canaan, and she said, I always know when I have a St. Luke's kid sitting in my chair. We said, that's like really interesting. Can you tell us why? And she said, I don't know, they hold themselves differently. They're poised, they're confident. They know how to engage in a conversation. And it's funny, it was a passing comment for her, but for Kate and I, it really stuck with us because in just a few words, it sort of described exactly what we were looking for in a school, which was really a place that would develop the whole person. And we've loved being part of this community. I think Rich would agree, we get to pull back the curtain a little bit and see how this place runs. And this faculty and staff are just so committed to these kids, and the work that they do is amazing. And I think today, maybe more so than ever, teaching human connection, civil discourse, learning to learn, and inspiring these kids to step up and lead. I mean, you just saw all these kids before us. They didn't even have notes. So, to bring it back maybe to the hairstylist, what St. Luke's does so well is it takes our kids and develops them into the type of people that I think you'd want sitting in your chair.
It's true, so true. We should probably thank that hairstylist, maybe put her on our admissions team. All right, so let's turn it over to Rich. Rich, here is your clan at the unveiling of the beautiful new Riley Family Welcome Garden, just steps away from the Be Kind Plaza. The Riley family has been at St. Luke's since 2016. You may recognize Michelle because she has been on the State of the School Committee for 8 years, 5 of them as co-chair. She and the team behind me are the talent behind tonight's wonderful reception. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank them. Best party yet, obviously. So let's go to you, Rich. What is it that inspires you and your family to give so much to St. Luke's?
Sure. Well, I've just always been in awe of this place, in all of its ambition, in all of its warmth, and especially the faculty and the students. And we feel like our family has benefited enormously from the St. Luke's experience, and giving back to that is really important to us. And for me, it's been an honor. Scott referenced it. This is a very substantial operation with over 450 families, a budget over $30 million, an endowment over $50 million now, and then a world-class team of 140 faculty and staff. So there's a lot going on, and it's an honor to be able to help out with that. And then I would just say, like Scott, Michelle and I really appreciate the school's commitment to outstanding academics, while also really getting to know each kid as an individual and helping them realize their full potential.
That's so true, and thank you both. I know your experiences resonate with so many families, they do with me. Let's jump into 2 opportunities for all of us to support our school and our students. Scott, you won't be a senior parent until next year, but you volunteered to talk about the Class of 2026 Senior Gift Campaign. Take it away.
I did. Since it began 14 years ago, the Senior Gift has raised $7 million for St. Luke's. It's an important one. This year, it's chaired by it was chaired by the people that were behind me, but it's supported by a whole bunch of parent volunteers, so thank you. Everything you see here is a senior gift. Each one reflects a strategic priority and represents its class in a meaningful way. Every gift exists because of the generosity of our senior parents, but more important than the gifts themselves is actually what they stand for. It's the choice that the senior parents make as their children prepare to graduate to leave something lasting for everyone else.
So I've been told, well, actually I'm a senior parent myself, so I've been told though, and I've learned that this year's senior gift will make quite an impact.
To use a storm metaphor, Chris, it should blow us away. Presenting the 2026 Victory Stands in Court.
That is how you make an announcement. Gotta hand it to you, Scott.
So this senior gift will transform what we used to call the middle school gym into a new central space for our school community and the Storm Athletics. What you're seeing is a conceptual rendering. Don't hold us to it all. But it will give you a good sense of what's ahead. So it'll be new bleachers, LED lighting, and an updated court amongst some other hopefuls. The renovation will provide an additional home court for athletes and fans, but equally as important, it'll be a spot for community fun. So think ping pong tournaments, the senior lock-in, all of our dances, the art shows, and so much more. The class of 2026 families are breathing new life into our middle school gym, raising it to the level of our beautifully renovated athletic center, and celebrating all of our families' ongoing commitment to community and to our school spirit. So thank you.
Fantastic. It's really exciting. Something. Something really to look forward to, really invigorating in the announcement. Awesome. So, Rich, we have another high-impact St. Luke's giving tradition to celebrate, and so will you do the honors of kicking off this year's St. Luke's Fund?
Happy to. And that's a very tough act to follow, Scott. But the St. Luke's Fund is also transformative for our school. It's made possible by parent volunteers and is led by these dedicated co-chairs. Yep. And Chris, we know this, but not everyone is aware that independent schools rely on both tuition and fundraising because tuition only covers about 88% of our budget. The St. Luke's Fund directly supports our annual operating budget, and gifts to the fund have an immediate impact benefiting the current academic year. The St. Luke's Fund is a direct way to make a meaningful difference in the daily lives of our students and their exceptional teachers. And now here's the fun part. Peter, how about a drum roll? For the 24th straight year, we've had 100% participation from faculty, staff, trustees, Sodexo, and Flick.
That gets me every year, 24 years in a row. Faculty and staff, 100% participation, but also Sodexo and Flick, those are not even technically St. Luke's employees, they're outside contractors, and yet they are still part of the community, and they step up to support St. Luke's.
Amazing. And now it's our turn as parents. The St. Luke's Fund appeal letters were mailed after homecoming, and we hope you will respond quickly and generously when you hear from our parent volunteers. Now, I don't think it's fair that Scott gets all the special effects, so how about give me a little thunder? That was the perfect lead-in, because we are about to unleash a storm of support for the St. Luke's Fund and Class of 2026 Senior Gift. On November 11th, we will launch our annual Giving Challenge, One Day for St. Luke's. For the first time in St. Luke's history, we are setting a goal of reaching $1 million in a single day. To kick off this ambitious goal, Scott and I have joined forces with 3 St. Luke's families that wish to remain anonymous, along with alumni Bob Solomon, class of 55, and Lynn DiNardo, class of 95. Together, we have committed nearly $500,000 in matching gifts. So when we reach $1 million in a day, this community will break the school record for the most funds raised during any giving challenge. Please join this $1 million effort, and you don't need to wait until November 11th. You can give on your way out tonight. There are giving posters with QR codes in the reception area. So whether you give early or on November 11th, please help us make St. Luke's history. I know we can do it. Thank you.
Amazing. It sounds like a big challenge. I know we're going to hit it. That's a fantastic initiative. You heard it here first. Please help us make history with a surge of giving at St. Luke's. Thank you both so much for what you do for our school and for your dedication to our board and for St. Luke's. Thank you very much. All right, wow, that was a lot. Peter, how on earth do we follow that up?
I don't know, because I'm pretty pumped right now.
All right, well, maybe
after that storm, I think we need some calm, we need some peace, and we need some beauty.
That sounds
I'd
perfect.
like to invite up Christian and Emmy to join us.
Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Valera and the Not So Late Night Band.
A fast car, and I've got a ticket to anywhere. Maybe we'll make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Any place is better. Starting from zero, got nothing to lose. Maybe we'll make something. Me, myself, I got nothing to prove.
You got a fast car, I got a plan to get us in here. Been working at the convenience store. Managed to save just a little bit of money. Won't have to drive too far. Just cross the border and into the city. You and I can both get jobs.
a problem. He lives with the bottle, that's the way it is. Said his body's too old for working. His body's too young to look like this. So mama went off and left him. She wanted more from life than he could give. I said, somebody's gotta take care of him. So I quit school and that's what I did.
You got a fast car. Is it fast enough that we can fly away? Still gonna make a decision. Leave tonight or live and die this way.
So I remember when we're driving in your car. Speed so fast it felt like I was drunk. City nights laid out before us, and your arm lay nice wrapped around my shoulder, and I had a feeling that I belonged. I had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone.
You got a fast car. We go cruising, entertain ourselves. Still ain't got a job, and I'm working the market to check out, girl.
I know things will get better. You'll find work and I'll get promoted. We'll move out to the shelter, buy a bigger house, live in the suburbs. So I remember when we're driving in your car. Speed so fast it felt like I was drunk. City nights laid out before us, and your arm lay nice wrapped around my shoulder, and I had a feeling that I belonged. I had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone. So I remember when we're driving in your car. Speed so fast it felt like I was drunk. City nights lay out before us, and your arm lay nice wrapped around my shoulder, and I had a feeling that I belonged. I had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone. You got a fast car, so fast enough so we can fly away.
We gotta make a decision. Leave tonight or live and die this way.
Wow. Tracy Chapman, who? Like, you guys just leveled that whole thing up. Amazing. Well done. There's only one problem. Who wants to follow that? Wait, I know. Let me present to you our head of school, Dr. Mary Halpin Carter. Wow, Mary, season 2, we did it. How about that? How about the band?
Fabulous. The band is pretty fantastic, but they're not just entertaining. They are really another example of people living the mission. They have so much on their plates as individuals, but they took the time, they worked so hard to be here so that we can have this special night, and they're just such an example of living the mission.
Living the mission in motion. Oh, wait a minute, Peter, Mission in Motion, name for the band maybe? I just came up with that. I can see the album art. It's gonna be awesome.
Well, that's very true. They are an amazing example of the mission. And you know, I tend to think of our work through 3 lenses: the why, the what, and the how. The mission is the why and the what. It really explains why St. Luke's exists and what we're here to accomplish. And then there's the vision, which really is the answer to that important question: what does it look like when we're truly living the mission?
Okay, what does it look like? What does that success look like?
Well, it looks like a lot of what we've seen on this couch here. It looks like what we're seeing tonight in so many different ways. which is that achieving the mission really means that we're partnering with families to raise the phenomenal people that the world needs.
Right, the people that, as Scott said, the people that we want sitting in that chair. So we have the why, we have the what. Now, how do we do it?
Well, the answer to that is prepared to thrive.
Prepared to Thrive. So for our new families, for our new friends tonight, Prepared to Thrive is the name of our strategic plan. That plan emerged from a community-wide question to answer one big question. What will students need to thrive now and into the future? So that plan launched officially right here at State of the School in 2021, and we have seen steady progress since then, Mary. I know that last year was especially strong. Can you tell us about that?
That's true. We've made really meaningful progress, and we're continuing to build on that momentum this year. You can see on the screen that the range of strategic work that we are focused on is broad. It ranges from curriculum to student competencies to competitive salaries and benefits.
And let's not forget the ongoing campus improvements like the dining commons that we gathered in earlier this evening.
I love seeing that vision come to life. But what I hope to talk a little bit about tonight is our curricular innovation. And some of the most exciting and timely advances have been launched, including the Middle School Emerging Technologies program. It is the only one of its kind in Fairchester. This is the only place where there are 4 years of required emerging technologies curriculum for every middle schooler. And that's because we believe that computer science and engineering ought to be part of what it means to be an educated person today. We believe that that's really a core curriculum subject and that it is essential for every child.
It is essential, and especially in today's day. I couldn't agree more. I was impressed with St. Luke's agility. We were out in front with emerging tech, weren't we?
We were. The swift development of the curriculum was yet another moment where I was in awe of my colleagues on the faculty. Led by Zach Brusco and Kimberly Girardi and Liz Perry right here and others, and assisted by some of our tech-forward parents who are really innovators in that space. The team researched different approaches, leading sources, including the MIT Media Lab, and it really informed the development of our custom curriculum. And so you're right in saying we're ahead, Chris. This is really only the end of year one, and we've already received an endorsement from the Middle States Association for Responsible AI and Learning. And we're one of only 25 schools in the country to have this endorsement, this recognition. We're the only school in Fairfield County to have it. So let's listen for a minute as Liz explains what this means.
So RAIL stands for Responsible AI in Learning, and RAIL is a program of the Middle States Association. Middle States is an accrediting body that can accredit independent schools, and in this case, they're offering this RAIL endorsement to schools that can demonstrate a focus on AI literacy, safety, and ethics. So you can already tell how that's right in our sweet spot as a school, because from the moment ChatGPT hit, we were looking at our policies, procedures internally. How can we take advantage of this opportunity with students, but also guard against the risks? And RAIL gave us kind of the gold standard to work through all of those policies and procedures around AI, and are we doing the things that are really going to set our students up for success in the future? And we're very proud to have earned that endorsement.
Setting our students up for success in the future. Borrowing Liz's words, that is literally the purpose of our strategic plan. But that's not all. So there have been other emerging tech developments in the works. So let's talk about middle school teacher Mark Chuda. He's really immersed in this work, isn't he?
He is. Mark's been phenomenal as our AI coordinator. And Mark, in addition to be able to make amazing AI selfies, which is itself a skill set, he's been partnering with faculty and staff, really helping each of us on anything we want to work on that fits the role we have at school. And he's really been helping our community to use technology, and particularly AI, thoughtfully and responsibly, and helping us to stay ahead of the curve for our students.
And so while emerging tech was taking off, and while apparently Mark Chuda was expanding his gallery of AI selfies, We were also working on Leading with Humanity. That was also growing, right, Mary?
Absolutely. And our head of middle school, Katie Borse, and her team, along with our chair of the Leadership Studies Department, Beth Yavenditti, have been doing remarkable work deepening and expanding the SLS created Leading with Humanity program in the middle school. And that's one of the many reasons that we say that middle school at St. Luke's is unmissable. This is really the only place in this area that we know of that makes both ethical leadership and emerging technologies a requirement and a part of every middle schooler's year every year.
So we've got this like similarity with our emerging tech curriculum in that each year of leadership skills builds on the previous year, forming this like foundation of leading with humanity.
That's right. That's right. And we've recently added curriculum in the 9th grade. And so our 9th graders are learning to lead ethically as well. Civil discourse and inclusion are at the heart of a lot of the work that is done in every grade level in this curriculum, and especially in the 9th grade. And again, each year of learning builds upon the knowledge and skills of the year before.
And one of those tools is this idea of leadership institutes in the upper school. Those have really taken off, haven't they?
That's right. So leadership institutes are for students in grades 10 through 12. So now we've got opportunity all the way, we call that vertical alignment in curriculum work. And the institutes are a weekend program that are designed by head of upper school Billy Blugis and this wonderful team. And it's really designed to give kids the opportunity to learn about leadership theory, to investigate their own leadership style, and they leave with a really phenomenal set of experiences under their belt, including an action plan that's personalized.
And about how many students have done this so far, do we know?
Almost 100 students have done this in just 1 year, and we have another 4th Leadership Institute that's going out on November 21st, and about 25 students will be on that one.
Sign up for that. So my takeaway is that this emerging tech, Leading with Humanity, not only had successful launches, continue to evolve, but at the same time working on Compass. So let's turn to Compass because I know we've reached a really exciting stage there.
We have. So Compass is a really crucial element of our leadership program, and it focuses on the incredible power of individual mentorship. What we've really done is taken what is a hallmark of a St. Luke's education, which is that small classes being deeply known as an individual, and just leveled it up and taken that individual attention to another level of inspiration.
Hunter Martin is leading the development of the Compass program and recently spoke about his vision for Compass. Let's take a look.
This year's 9th graders, the class of 2029, are our inaugural Compass cohort. And coming on the heels of their bonding experience at Club Getaway, they are in the thick of their first round of conversations with their Compass coaches. These meetings have focused in particular on leadership and service, offering students an opportunity to put their stamp on 9th grade, thinking about how they're going to take the reins of their experience and make it authentically their own. The SLS Compass program is how we ensure each and every student is able to find themselves in and through our mission, carrying those traits of lifelong learning, moral compass, service, and leadership with them to college and long beyond. We do this by inviting students to explore areas of existing interest, to open themselves to new possibilities, and as they explore, to engage in an ongoing process of self-reflection and goal setting. This is where our high-touch, highly personalized mentorship provided by our Compass coaches is integral and truly sets St. Luke's apart.
Chris, our focus on highly personalized mentorship and helping every student to achieve their potential, it resonates. And I'm thrilled to share that a generous family has pledged to fund a full 8-year scholarship for a St. Luke student. The Saket and Simrat Mehta family has a long tradition of supporting education and creating opportunities for children in need. And the Mehtas shared some thoughts about this and why they felt moved. There's that question of what's the why recently, and I'll read you their words. They said, "What we respect most about SLS is how intentionally it develops each child's potential. The Compass program in particular is impressive. It speaks to us. At SLS, every student is known, supported, and guided to grow in meaningful ways. We also value the sense of belonging here. SLS is a place where students look out for one another, in the classroom, in the dining hall, on the field. Whether a student is new or has been here for years, they're in an environment where they can be themselves, find support, and feel safe. That kind of community stays with you for life." The Mehta family's commitment to lead with humanity reflects exactly what we're hoping to inspire in our students. And it's a reminder of how much good there is in the world and how much love there is at St. Luke's.
It's truly amazing, and we're so grateful to the family and to everyone that made that gift possible. I love that ripple effect of giving, whether your gift is financial, your time, your expertise. In the end, it's all about working together and lifting each of us up. So that same spirit is powering our Storm Athletics. Want to brace for the thunder again? No, we've already used that a couple of times, so we're not going to do it again, but we have something better. So please welcome the energy behind the rising storm, our St. Luke's Director of Athletics, Anna Nechtel. All right, Anna, welcome. You've been standing backstage listening to us talk about Prepared to Thrive and some pretty amazing things happening in our curriculum. You've been leading another key part of the strategic plan, which is to advance our athletics program.
Yes, Chris. Ooh, I don't have
You need a microphone.
So sorry. Yes, Chris, we've been busy. We've been very, very busy. I forgot to pick up the mic. But we created the Athletic Task Force in 2024. We combined some coaches, parents, trustees, and we wanted to explore where we were as a program and where we wanted to go. We have had plenty of talented teams and more than a few FAA and NEPSAC titles. But we were thinking about aiming higher and thinking about excellence as something every sport and every athlete could experience.
Absolutely, and I want to highlight that Anna's charge was twofold. It was building excellence and creating opportunity. At SLS, we aim for excellence in all areas, in academics, in the arts, in athletics. It's really a standard we hold ourselves to. The challenge and the goal is to create a program where our most competitive athletes can reach their full potential, and also where every student has opportunities to play, to grow, to have the thrill of being part of Storm Athletics. Not everyone can play on every team, but everyone should be able to find their place on a team and have phenomenal and rich experiences wearing the St. Luke's uniform.
That's right. That's my challenge and my charge, which is why I'm so grateful to have an extended team to help me work towards that goal. I have an amazing group. We work so well together and are always focused on the quality of our programming and the experience of our student athletes. We also have this dedicated crew, the Storm Advisory Council. It's made up of coaches, parents, teachers, and trustees. This team meets about every quarter to ensure we are progressing towards this. The collective work of both the task force and the advisory council led to this vision. We want to be sustainable, competitive, values-driven, and have the best coaches that will develop our student athletes, which will elevate Storm Athletics. From the very beginning, one thing has been clear: excellence starts with people. Great coaches make the difference. They are passionate, they love their sport, they recruit, they teach skill, and most importantly, they connect with kids.
So excellence starts with people. That's a great perspective, and I know one of the big developments coming out of your work has been expanding the number of program directors. Tell us what a program director does.
Sure. Over the last 18 months or so, we've been hiring more and more coaches into the program director role. A program director is someone who looks at the entire program and oversees the arc from middle school through varsity, ensuring there's alignment, consistency, and clear communication at every level. Our goal is to have a program director for every varsity sport. This model is already having a big impact on player development and coaching quality.
And another area where we see program directors and varsity coaches like having another impact, making their mark, is on the college recruiting process.
Yes, that's been really exciting. This slide tells a very powerful story. About 20% of our recent grads are continuing their sport in college. That's nearly 3 times the national average. Our goal is to build systems that support that success by offering more targeted recruitment guidance, collaboration between coaches and college counselors, and increased visibility for all of our athletes to be recruited. This list is also on the monitors in the AC, and sometimes I just stand there. I'm in awe of our student athletes. We have so many talented kids who are committed to their sport and playing at the next level. One of the most rewarding things is having alums come back and tell us that their athletic experience prepared them not only for playing in college, but also in terms of leadership and resilience, and so many skills you need for life.
So we have a 2022 alum who expressed just that. We're gonna bring up that slide.
I'll give everyone a chance to read that.
Andrea really embodies that positive storm spirit. And that's something that's been absolutely palpable on this campus. And it reflects how the ongoing elevation of our athletic program really produces big storm spirit. You can feel it everywhere. We felt it at homecoming when we won multiple games, and we're feeling it as students and families are cheering each other on like they did on Saturday, which was such a thrill. When we watched Murphy Levesque score her first touchdown as a senior on senior day. And that energy, it flows on and it carries through all over the place to Heads Holiday and Storm Buddies and Founders Cup and our service events and events when we gather like this one. It's amazing how a strong athletic program really lifts a community up and helps to build confidence and pride and energy and really strengthens the spirit at the school overall.
And that athletic program, it really does help students grow. The lessons that they learn stay with them far beyond the game. So I think it's time that we heard directly from a couple of our student athletes. Please welcome Alex Hill and Alex McGee. Welcome, Alexes. We set this up because it's getting late and I would forget their names otherwise. This makes my life so much easier. Thank you very much. Alex McGee, let's begin with you. I bet you know that song that the band just played.
Yeah, so that was Just Keep Watching by Tate McRae. I always listen to that right before games, just get all fired up and ready to win the game.
Gotta have a good hype song, right? So Alex, I've heard that you have played ice hockey since you were like very, very, very small.
Yeah, so I've been playing since I was like 4 or 5 years old, and I usually have 2 to 3 practices and 2 to 3 games per week. It's really hard to manage this, but if I use my planner and go see teachers for help, it like really makes me make my way through the day.
Staying organized, good study habits, that's cool, but you're also on the St. Luke's Maroon volleyball team. So how long have you been playing volleyball? What position do you enjoy most?
So I've been playing volleyball since I joined SLS in 5th grade, but now I love to play middle or setter on my club team. But here at SLS, they teach us to play every position well, so when we play games, when we rotate, we know how to play each position, and we do really well.
That sounds like a really smart strategy. Alex, what do you enjoy most about being on a team?
So I love how everyone supports each other and lifts them up. So even if we miss a serve or a play, everyone still goes in for high fives and says, great job or great work.
And staying positive, we've got a slide which is pretty cool. The varsity team sometimes joins your practices. We've got a photo up there. Tell us about that.
So that photo is with my whole team, including like the 5th and 6th grade team. And they always come to our practices to give us advice and teach us on new things to learn. It always feels like they really care and they really want us to get better throughout the school year.
And that's really what Leading with Humanity looks like in athletics. It's older athletes inspiring and mentoring younger ones. Alex, as you think about the future, would you like to be a team leader someday?
Yeah, I hope I can become like a volleyball varsity captain or something, because I would love to help see my teammates improve and help them grow throughout the season.
That's terrific. And other Alex Hill, you are already a team leader. In addition to playing baseball, you are the team captain for both soccer and squash. What's the best part about being captain?
For me, the best part about being a captain is becoming the person that I always looked up to. I grew up with St. Luke's athletics. I always saw my brother play, and as a freshman, I saw my captains, and I always thought of those people as such charismatic leaders. And so finally being in their position is really like an honor.
That's great. So you grew up around Storm Athletics.
I did, yeah. My soccer coach here, Ryan Fairhurst, has been my coach for about 10 years. And as I said, my brother came here, and so I really grew up around St. Luke's athletics, yeah.
So do you have like an all-time favorite sports moment?
Yes, so the easy answer to that question was the 2023 FAA Championship, where we won. But in reality, it was really the Brunswick homecoming game last year, which is quite ironic because we fell short and we lost the game. But it's a special moment for me because we all put our hearts on the field out there, and in front of 600 people, we fell short. And I think that loss really propelled us for the rest of the season because we knew we had to kick up another gear.
It's really a sign of good leadership that a team can use a loss to fuel drive and energy and spirit. And I'm curious about your experience as a captain, because I know you're on Captain's Council led by RAD.
Yes, so the whole idea behind Captain's Council is to meet bi-weekly, and all the captains come together and talk about what's working, what's not working, and other problems that we have. And especially for me as a younger captain, it's really helpful because I can learn from other teams' experiences and try to implement them into my own team. Other things that have been super helpful is we have guest speakers come in, like Andrea, who was on the board earlier. And prior to the season this year, we read a book about leadership, which was really helpful.
That's great. And in a few weeks, you're going to be attending a leadership institute.
I will. I'm really excited about that. A lot of other captains have already been, so I'm excited to finally get to it.
All right, so Alex, I've got one more question for you. So as a student athlete and a captain, so what do you take from the field and the courts into the classroom?
Yes, there's a lot of applicable parts of being an athlete that go into the classroom. You have to deal with losing, falling short, and also obviously you learn aspects of discipline and responsibility. But I think the most important part of athletics that I bring into the classroom is knowing what I can be and how what I'm capable of. I think on the field, if I have a good game or a good practice, I'm reminded of how much I'm capable of if I put my heart to something. And I bring that to the classroom every day. And having the confidence to try something means everything in the classroom at St. Luke's. So I think it's really important.
That's true. The confidence to try. Remember those words to live by. Great advice. Anna and the Alexes, thank you for highlighting the incredible spirit and expanding excellence of our Storm Athletics. Thank you guys so much. All right, so I said at the start of the show tonight that we would be meeting more people who are living the mission. So our next group is the epitome of academic excellence. See for yourself. Please welcome St. Luke's Advanced Scholars Annabelle Drapkin, Patrick Gunn, Finn Malkoon, and Juana Marquet. All right, seniors, welcome. We're so glad you're here. Let me give a little background to our audience before we begin. The Scholars Program is a signature college-level experience for seniors. It gives students a chance to dive deeply into a topic that truly interests them. Scholars work with faculty members to create original work that reflects curiosity, rigor, and purpose. Mary, that is the kind of learning that lasts.
Absolutely. There have been about 320 scholars in the history of the program. The program is about 19 years old, and this year we have 37 seniors participating, including the 4 seniors who we have right here. And like all excellent programs, this program has evolved over time. Originally, it was a global scholars pathway solely, and then these additional pathways were added, including this year, STEM now branches into 2 pathways, research and experimentation and emerging technologies. So lots of choices for our scholars.
That's great. And so we know that you guys are all in very early stages of your work. We won't get any plot spoilers, but we would love to hear about your topics. So let's follow the order that we see on the slide and start with Juana, our advanced global scholar, and I'm going to read the title of your work, Tracing Argentina's Shift to the Anarcho-Capitalism and Its Policy Parallels with the United States. What? All right, so you're going to explain this to us, right?
Yes, I'd be happy to. I'm analyzing Argentina's economic history under different forms of government. So over the years, Argentina has seen extremist leaders from across the political spectrum, and as a result faced multiple economic crises, each met with different policy responses. My studies will examine which types of government have led the country most effectively. I'll also be comparing the policies of Argentina's current president, Javier Milei, with those in the United States under President Trump to explore why they've had such different effects on each country's economy and led to contrasting societal responses.
Wow. Juana, why did you want to pursue being a scholar?
Well, I became a scholar for 2 reasons. So firstly, I'm very passionate about my topic. Growing up, consistently visiting my family in Argentina, I've seen firsthand how its government has had extreme effects on people's lives. So that's motivated me to better understand Argentina's politics through the kind of formal guided research the Scholars Program offers. I also love that the program ends with a symposium where I get to present my work and see what my peers have been working on as well.
Well, we'd love to see more about what your peers are working on. So let's turn it over to Annabelle. Annabelle, you are an advanced literary scholar. Tell us what you are working on and studying.
My project, Colonization of Consciousness, West, Shakespeare, and Huxley, examines the insidious conquest of the human psyche. I'm using Cornel West's philosophy, particularly his warning against spiritual appropriation, as a framework for reading Shakespeare's The Tempest alongside Aldous Huxley's Brave New World, whose title comes from a line in The Tempest. I'm exploring how empires of power and knowledge extend their domination beyond the seizure of land and labor to the appropriation of language, memory, and desire. Both The Tempest and Brave New World dramatize this psychic domination in distinct historical contexts. I will argue that such psychological colonization remains an enduring threat to the moral and imaginative life of a people. Extending my analysis to contemporary parallels, I'm examining advertising and digital media as modern forms of psychic capture that can strain imagination and commodify happiness.
Wow.
Annabelle, what made you want to be a scholar?
I've always admired presentations given by past scholars, and I was especially eager to work with Ms. Doran. I'm fascinated by how consciousness can be appropriated, and I want to keep pursuing the intersection of literature and philosophy.
Wow, Ms. Doran continuing to inspire. Thank you very much, Annabelle. All right, Patrick, you are up next, teaching us a little bit about bee venom. We're all ears.
All right, yeah, so over the past few years, I've been studying how melittin, a protein in bee venom, kills lung adenocarcinoma, which is a type of lung cancer. It started back in 10th grade as an independent study on cell biology, and that's pretty much just going over how cells function usually and how they can often malfunction in the form of cancer. Yeah, and it's been a great time, and I'm hooked. So now as a STEM scholar, I can actually spend time in a lab setting to experiment and find other explanations for melittin's anti-cancerous effects. So yeah, I'm looking forward to diving more into the cell physiology and ultimately researching more in college, hopefully, in academic medicine.
Wow, so this is really a long-term interest of yours.
Yeah, so I hope to study biology in college probably, and then also pursue an MD, PhD, hopefully.
Wow, that is really going forth to serve. Thank you, Patrick.
And Patrick, I am going to predict that your work will create quite a buzz. Thank you, Sam. All right, now moving right along, forget that happened. All right, so speaking of predictions, Finn, you are our last scholar, and you are tackling how to improve snowfall prediction. Why snow?
I've always been intrigued by the weather, especially snow. It started for me back in 7th grade when I started watching weather models instead of weather apps to see when the apps might be getting things wrong. Soon enough, I got a reputation as being the weather guy, and by the end of the year, my previous head of school, Aaron Cooper, had actually asked me to help him call snow days, which is something I still do for NCCS and something I now do here at St. Luke's. Nowadays, people come up to me, they'll ask me, they'll say, Finn, my weather app says 5 inches of snow tomorrow. What do you think? And I'll think about what the models have been doing in their recent runs, and it's not too often that I think to myself, where are the apps getting these numbers from? Because the models have only been doing 1 or 2 inches of snow. And so after so many years of watching forecasts miss the mark, I really want to understand why and maybe build something to do it a little bit better.
So Finn, tell us a little about what you're building.
My goal is to create an algorithm that'll take in weather model data to better forecast snowfall. And if I have time, I'll try to apply it to a weather application that I'll also create. Whether or not I succeed, I mean, if I succeed, I'll really wonder to myself why apps are so bad at forecasting snow. And if I fail, I guess I'll have a little more patience for the bad forecasting we get here in New England.
All right, you heard it here first. The Weather Guy app, $9.99 a month, coming soon. Maybe it's free during the summertime. We know you're going to be successful. You can come up with something that really makes a difference, not just to like, skiers and boarders, but with safety, the economy, even the environment, also reassuring school kids when they're going to have a snow day. Very important work. Finn, Patrick, Juana, and Annabelle, we are so excited to attend the Scholars Symposium this spring. It is open to everybody. You don't have to have a scholar in the program to come to it. It is a night that you will learn something from their incredible curiosity and intellect. Thank you all for giving us this fascinating preview. Thank you. Wow. Well, we opened tonight by talking about how the mission comes to life through people at St. Luke's. I think it's hopefully self-evident that the state of our school is strong, and that state of the school is supported by this incredible pillar of excellence for our faculty and education and their continued development. So it's only fitting that we end by talking about one of our exceptional faculty and staff members who makes it all happen. Let's honor a remarkable individual, and Mary, turn it over to you.
Thank you. Well, the Edward B. Blakely Distinguished Faculty and Staff Award is named after the school's founder and goes to someone who exemplifies Mr. Blakely's values of excellence and character. And I am absolutely delighted to announce the 2025 Blakely Distinguished Faculty and Staff Award winner is Jim Yavenditti. Well, congratulations, Jim. We're going to begin with one of your greatest gifts to St. Luke's, your family. Soon after Jim joined the St. Luke's faculty in 2002, his wife Beth joined us, and that was followed by his children, Anna, class of 2025, and Will, class of 2029. Beth, are you out there? There she is. Thank you for sharing Jim with us. So let me tell the rest of you all a little bit about Jim. Jim joined SLS as a Latin teacher 23 years ago, and since then he has worn many hats. A lifelong learner and an academic to his core, Jim has taught English and history courses, he's led global trips, he's dramatically expanded the Scholars program, and he also served as head of upper school for 5 years. For over a decade, though, we've been so fortunate to have you in the role of Director of Studies. And in that capacity, Jim really runs the back end of the academic program, including everything from scheduling to course catalog development to running our partnership with the Global Online Academy. Beyond the classroom, the students know Mr. Yav for his town meeting announcements, among other things. Our colleague Mike Rupps confessed, "I don't know how Jim does it. He gets up at town meeting, tells the kids that if they miss the deadline for course registration, they will get last dibs on their classes, and he doesn't want to hear any complaints, and the kids love him." Now, I was not here at the time, but legend has it that kids also went wild when Jim busted a move. This was Blues Band circa 2021, and yes, that is Jim rapping.
And I was there quite well, I might add. And there's a video on the archive page someplace. We should find the link for it so we could watch Jim actually bust the move. We won't show you that right now, though.
Over the years, in addition to busting moves, Jim has been meeting individually with students and their parents. And Jim, you provide such important individualized academic guidance. Really listening to students and helping them find a pathway, whether they're middle schoolers or they're a new 11th grader or returning senior, you provide that kind of support and help. Also, according to Liz Perry, Jim describes himself as a curmudgeon who is set in his ways. But she says that she's witnessed his capacity for profound change. Liz says, despite being a lifelong UNC Chapel Hill basketball fan, Jim now cheers not just for the Tar Heels, but also for Syracuse Orange, and wears the colors as well, because Anna is a freshman at Syracuse. And Jim she wanted me to congratulate you on your growth mindset. Which is great. Our wonderful colleague Susan Garnett calls you simply indispensable. She went on to say, he keeps us organized, moving forward, and is widely respected and valued.
And it is not just the St. Luke's community who have taken notice of Jim's skills and his talent set. He has been inspired by a very special and a high-level interview, which we're going to show you tonight. Take a look.
Hello, I'm Willie Geist. Today, I'm on the campus of St. Luke's School, also known as SLS. I'll be sitting down with a man who has quietly become one of the most fascinating figures in American education. Jim Yavenditti, Director of Studies at SLS, is the mastermind behind the school schedule. For some time now, I've been curious. How does he do it? What makes Jim tick? Jim, let's dive right in. How did you get started in the complex and, let's be honest, risky world of school scheduling?
Well, Billy.
Willie. I'm
Willie.
a longtime parent here at the school. But yeah.
Right. Well, Willie, I played it safe for years as head of upper school. And then I thought, If somebody doesn't take on the courageous job of scheduling, where would we be? We would all literally be lost in space and time. And so I started diving into this puzzle, and I became addicted. Addicted to solving the impossible, and really addicted to the glory that is the job.
I totally get it. Open secret, I'm only in this for the glory as well.
Yeah, well, we're really the same.
So Jim, for those of us not privy to the inner workings of an elite school like SLS, what exactly does a schedule wizard do?
It is really a mystical kind of process. I'll try and break it down to a lower level for you. As an architect of the schedule, there are a lot of competing variables: students, course prerequisites, classrooms, and teachers. And I need to put that into one coherent system. It's equal parts algorithms, diplomacy, and even endurance. And so it's puzzles upon puzzles upon puzzles, and it takes a lot of effort. Oh, serenity now! But I'd like to think that in the long run, I stay calm, cool, and collected throughout the whole experience.
You are extraordinary.
I am.
Am I correct in saying that in addition to the Herculean task you've just described, you also advise students about their individual schedules, helping to ensure they meet every requirement here?
Yeah, that's also part of the job. It's a great part of the job to be able to meet with students and kind of figure out what they want, what they need out of their schedule, and how we as a school can provide that to them.
And Jim, are you dealing with the parents too? Fairfield County types do have a reputation as being a bit demanding.
Oh no, not at St. Luke's. We don't have any over-the-top demanding parents here on the hilltop.
Well, Jim, I think it's finally time to address the elephant in the room. You are passionate about ancient Greece and Rome, teaching about those civilizations. You oversee the SLS Scholars program, which the world, of course, recognizes as the single highest form of scholarship in all the universe. Scheduling, plus teaching, plus all that scholarly stuff. Does that officially qualify you as a nerd?
Oh, yes. Of the highest order, without question.
I thought so. It's good to have confirmation from the man himself.
Absolutely.
Jim Yavenditti, you are a man of immeasurable talent and bravery. SLS is lucky to have you.
Thanks. I couldn't agree more.
This has been an honor for me.
Me too, Billy.
Again, Willie.
Well, Willie, whatever.
Yeah.
I got it. I got it. Victory is mine! Victory is mine! Who's the man? I'm the man! Who's the man? I'm the man! Woo! I'm not the man. I'm not the man. I'm not the man.
Jim, you are the man. Don't let anyone... Let's keep that applause going, please, so we can thank the people who made tonight possible. Thanks to our Parents Association for everything they did for us. Thanks to the Marketing and Communications Department, the people in the booth, the folks backstage, everyone in the back of the house, front of the house who make this night possible. Thank you. A special thanks to our writer, our director, our producer, the person who makes this thing happen, my muse, Nancy Traeger. Amazing. Thank you to the wonderful Willie Geist. Thank you to Peter and to the band, and most of all, thank you to you. You are what makes St. Luke's so special. Thank you for being with us tonight for our 24th annual State of the School. That's a show. That's a wrap. Good night, St. Luke's.
Smooth.